Hello, everyone. I want to welcome you to my spontaneous Q&A live, where I interviewed random people from all over the world. And today it's from Italy, no other than Miss Dawn, beautiful Dawn Michelle. Miss Dawn, welcome to my Q&A live, and so happy to
You,
have you.
Caroline. I'm so happy to be here too. Thank you for having me on.
Yes, welcome. I'm have you from Italy. Which Italy are you in? I forgot.
I am in the north side of Rome in a little tiny town called Civitella San Paolo.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah, yeah.
That's one of my dream uh, place to go to, Rome, Italy.
Yeah, so I hear that often. Like, so many people are like, oh, it's on my bucket list to go to Rome or it's on my bucket list to go to Italy.
Mhm.
Some people are like me, like, oh, I've always wanted to live there.
Yes,
And I just say if you really want it, put it on your vision board and you will make it happen.
that's right. That's true. Yeah, let's happen. So let's jump into my first question, which is help us know what's the life in Italy.
Well, let's just say I'm American, okay?
Yeah.
And the American lifestyle is very fast paced. Oftentimes it's stressful. It's all about work, 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 work.
Mhm.
And Italy, the culture here couldn't be further from that.
Wow.
They're very relaxed. They're a laid back culture.
Mhm.
Um, they often have, like, when they have lunch, it's an extended time period so they can have a nap. So stores are sometimes open a little bit later
Mhm.
because they have like a 3 hour pause in the middle of the day for lunch and nap time. Um,
Wow.
the food quality here, um, it
Mhm.
is literally one of the best in the world.
Wow.
And I've traveled all over the world. I've eaten food in every country I've been to. And I just have to say, like, some of the biggest things that I love about here is we don't grow GMOs.
Mhm.
The farmers do crop rotation, they don't do monocropping. And those things help to enhance the flavor of our food as well as the nutrition content.
Yeah.
And so Italians are very proud
Mhm.
of the quality of their food and how they make things taste amazing with just very simple ingredients. It's
Yeah.
not like when you go to an Italian restaurant in the US and
Mhm.
they've overloaded it with a lot of different seasonings.
Mhm.
Whereas here it might be one or two things, and they don't actually like put garlic, like they put garlic in, but all they do is like slice a piece of garlic
Mhm.
and then they take it out. It's unlike where we mince it and put it in our stuff. So
Mhm.
very big difference there. And
Yeah.
um, contrary to what people believe, like it isn't just pasta and pizza,
Mhm.
although that is quite common with, especially with the younger generation. But
Yeah.
we do have a lot of just the Mediterranean style with a lot of good fats. Um, the quality, just for example, of the dairy here is also much better than in the U.S.
That's
There's a local dairy meat farmer right here in my town, and he actually has a raw milk
mhm.
dispenser in the middle of our town. So
Amazing.
it's a very different concept from being in the United States for sure.
Yeah, I know. Now you mentioned that pizza. I remember because I think Cannes are closest to Italy. It's like two hours ride on a boat. And I remember this pizza, like really huge pizza when I eat in Cannes, France. I
Mhm.
finished the whole thing.
Yeah,
So, but when here in the US, is I only have that one slice and that's enough. You know what I mean?
yeah, and
So,
that's one thing that's different about here is when they make bread or pizza or even pasta, especially when the pasta's fresh,
mhm.
they do something called levitato, which means they levitate
Oh,
the bread or the dough for
mhm,
at least 48 hours, but up to 72. And that causes a lot of the sugars to be eaten.
mhm.
So when you eat the pizza or the bread, you don't bloat, you don't feel uncomfortable.
Yeah,
Whereas in the US, they don't do that. And
yeah,
so oftentimes when you eat pizza or pasta afterwards, you're like, oh, I
yeah,
feel so heavy. And we don't have that sensation here.
yeah.
So very big difference with that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you for that, for linking to
Yeah.
Italy. So, my next question is, What is your health practices in Italy?
So they're not, I would say they're not that much different than when I'm in the US.
Mhm.
Um, my husband and I predominantly follow a vegan lifestyle, not because we're, climate change or save the animals or anything that it's not that we don't think that's important, but it's more for our health. Like having a diet that is very big in whole foods,
Mhm.
plant based, is important for the nutrient content that comes from it.
Yeah.
We do eat fish. Occasionally, we have beef or chicken. And fortunately, like I said, we have the local farmers here where we can purchase it from them
Mm.
instead of going to the grocery store.
Yeah.
And that's huge. Um, we're not like the typical Italian home where we would have pasta multiple times a week.
Mhm.
I will admit that if my husband could have pizza every day, he would. But that might be something that we indulge in once a month or so.
Mhm.
And fortunately, here also, if we're gonna have pizza, usually we would go to a place that offers gluten-free pizza.
Yeah.
And they have restaurants here that are split kitchens where they have one kitchen that's for gluten stuff and one kitchen that's not. And the pizza's unbelievable. It's not like when you're in the US and it's like cardboard. It's fluffy and it bends and it's just
Mhm.
so yummy. So yeah, those are like treats for us every day. When I'm not avoiding dark chocolate because of inflammatory responses or something. I have a bit of dark chocolate. That's kind of um, my
Yeah.
treat.
Yes.
And smoothies, things like flax, chia seeds. Right now, I don't have eggs, but at times I would have eggs. Yeah, so it's a really good variety of whole foods and not a lot of processed foods. We don't do a lot of that stuff.
Kind of answer my question.
Oh, and lots of beans. We
Oh,
do eat a lot of beans,
yeah.
um, like probably 5 times a week at least, which is quite uncommon with most Americans. That you're lucky if you get them eating it once a week, unless it's Taco Tuesday.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Oh my God, you mentioned all the food. I feel like I'm celebrating now with all that
Right, right.
yummy food you mentioned. But so anyway, so my next question is, what is the healthy lifestyle means to you in terms of your overall well-being?
So, one of the biggest things for me about having a healthy lifestyle is disease prevention
Mhm.
versus managing it on the back end.
Yeah.
If we don't have that healthy lifestyle to start off with,
Mhm.
we're led down this road of a plethora of different maladies and diseases.
Mhm.
And, you know, we are finding through research that, diabetes, hypertension, cardiovascular disease, hypercholesterolemia, cancer, all of these things can be prevented by having a healthy lifestyle
Yeah.
and not necessarily counting calories or following a specific dietary protocol.
Mhm.
It's all about whole foods. And when I was in the US, I used to do grocery store tours. And I would be like, okay, guys, like, we're going to stay on the large intestine of the store, like the outside,
Mhm.
because that's where you're going to get those whole foods.
Yeah.
And then the small intestines are only necessary like occasionally. You don't go into the inside part of the store unless, like, for example, Wegmans has a great aisle that is all ethnic foods. And let's say you're wanting to make a Chinese dish or
Yeah.
some other type of Asian flair, you've
Yes.
got an aisle for that. But it shouldn't be your main place. And so that's like kind of the thing. In Italy, they don't have a whole lot of the middle part, the small intestine part. They have a
Mhm.
lot of the large intestine, like a big
Mhm.
variety of stuff on the outskirt. And so that's something else I really like about being here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you for that, Don.
Yeah.
So, and my next question is, what are the benefits and habit, and the important to have that sustainable lifestyle?
So, one of the benefits I would say is, as you know,
Mhm.
I suffer from respiratory issues that were amplified due to mold exposure here in Italy.
Mhm.
And by adjusting my diet here,
Yeah.
I was able to reduce the inflammation, to have significantly less attacks. But like just having a healthy lifestyle in general provides more energy. It makes you look younger. You usually will sleep better.
Yeah.
Your body just functions better when you eat a healthier lifestyle. And that's probably the thing that I love the most about it,
Yeah.
as well as it doesn't hurt your waistline, you know?
And
Like,
really, and you add to that is, remember, you're doing this breathing practices that's really
mhm,
help to,
yes.
sustainable longevity when your like lungs is bigger to really
Mhm.
survive for some time this issue you have. So that's
Yeah, absolutely. As you know, I just finished a 7-day challenge for improved respiratory health. And
Mhm.
one of the things that every day that we did was a respiratory exercise. And then we also did a meditation daily. And those were incorporated with foods to add in and foods to avoid. And it's so powerful that the responses that I've received are I was sleeping better, I had more energy, I
Mhm.
had better bowel movements, my breathing was better in 1 week. Like,
Yeah.
imagine if that was the person's lifestyle all the time. And so for me, going through this experience in Italy with the respiratory issues, it's really been able to heighten my awareness, because before moving here, I just rarely had issues. I mean, almost never. In nearly 2 decades, I'd had 4 attacks,
Mhm.
whereas in less than 2 years here, I had eight. And
Mhm.
so to go from this extreme and then to see how important that, not just like the air you're breathing, because my husband and I also moved to the countryside from the city,
Mhm.
but also the food that we were eating.
Mhm.
And even though we were eating really well,
Mhm.
I ended up doing some functional testing that was like, hey, we know you're eating this and it's great for you, but right now it's causing inflammation in your body and you should avoid it.
That's right.
And so there was a huge difference in me once I eliminated the foods that I ate all the time that were healthy,
Mhm.
but at the moment they were causing an inflammatory response.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
Yeah.
thanks for bringing up the breathing exercises too, because I
Yeah.
do think
Yeah.
that's super important.
That's so important to sustainable, a life longevity, because
Yeah.
that's where we are when we are alive,
Yep.
breathing.
First thing you do and the last thing you do is breathe.
Correct.
And if you look at the history of the culture here,
Mhm.
we're in the blue zone. It's Sardinia
Mhm.
has like the world's second most amount of, I'm gonna say it wrong, centenarians, I believe is how you say it, people over 100 years old.
Oh,
They
wow.
didn't get that way because they were eating processed foods.
That's
They
right.
got that way because they ate healthy,
Yeah.
but they also aren't stressed.
Wow.
It's the most interesting thing to see a group of people. Like if they get angry, they're just like bam, 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 and it's like, oh, nothing happened. They just get it out, they let it out, and they don't let it fester. They
Mhm.
don't get stressed about anything.
Mhm.
And when you like, stress is a huge problem with health.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know?
yes. Yes.
When you have a culture that is like, oh, stress,
I know.
whatever,
That's right.
it's
And
so different.
yeah, and it's the same thing when some people already have this data, like in the Philippines, they said like a lot of people there said like they say that the most happiest people in the world because we don't do stress. We just
Yeah,
just fun. It's not in our vocabulary maybe, but now
yeah.
with this new modern world, it's
Mhm.
contributing now to stress as the
Yeah,
generation come in the technology we have, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so my last question, so what is the basic steps at least you can give to the viewers to watch this that
Yeah,
can really help them to have to make a smart lifestyle changes if they are not in the same journey we are. So what is your
right.
simple steps for them?
So the biggest thing that I would say is start with making small changes and move towards whole foods
Okay.
and non-GMO.
Hmm.
And for some people, they would say, the non-GMO stuff, the organic is too expensive.
Yeah.
And this is where I say, there's this great website called ewg.org, and you can go on there and you can get their clean 15 and their dirty dozen.
Mhm.
And avoid that dirty dozen
Mhm.
if it's not organic,
Yes.
because that dirty dozen has more pesticide exposure than any of the others. And the clean 15 won't matter if it's organic or not.
Right. Yeah.
If you are not into like cooking every day and you don't
Mhm.
want to buy fresh fruits and vegetables, then
Mhm.
buy the frozen ones. That's your next best option. I wouldn't recommend buying canned only because it lacks oxygen.
Yeah.
And what do we need oxygen for? It provides us with life. And when they've frozen food, it's typically flash frozen at its peak, right? Peak nutrition.
Mhm.
So those would be two things I would recommend. And slowly start replacing things like
Yeah.
in the US alone, like wheat and corn and soy are the most like genetically modified foods. And so if we can start replacing those type of products with,
Yes.
let's say, instead of having a wheat pasta, you have a bean-based pasta
Correct.
or quinoa-based pasta.
Mhm.
Now, I will say on quinoa, don't boil it too long or it becomes
Yeah.
like this gooey mess,
That's what happened.
but pay attention and it's actually really good. But making those small changes here and there and figuring out ways just to get in more fruits and vegetables.
Mhm.
And a great way to do that is a smoothie.
Mhm.
And, if people don't know this, when you make a smoothie and
Mhm.
you have fruits and vegetables, the fruit takes over the flavor.
Yes.
So if you have raspberries and blackberries and strawberries or peaches, that's going to cover the taste of having spinach or carrots or beets. And I would highly recommend if you use beets that you also put some lemon in there because beets are kind
Yeah.
of a pretty powerful taste. But it's a great way to get, you know, 4 to 6 servings of fruits and vegetables first thing in the morning,
Mhm.
and start your day off that way. And even like to make it more satiating, having coconut and avocado
Yeah.
thrown in there. When I can have avocado, because right now it's one of the foods that's inflammatory producer for me,
Mhm.
I'll usually put half of an avocado in my smoothie.
Mhm.
And usually I'm really good for a good 4 or 5, sometimes even 6 hours
Yeah.
before I'm hungry again.
Yeah. That's right.
And making sure that you have little snacks with you, things like nuts, seeds, dried fruit,
Yeah.
or the original fast food
Yeah.
was fruit.
Yeah. That's right.
Apples, bananas, oranges, peaches, pears, and try to eat in season.
Yeah.
Um,
That's right.
Going through
That's-
your local farmers market,
Yeah.
get to know your farmer.
Mhm.
Um, Local honey,
Yeah.
huge. Um, and that would be where I would start. Like just slowly starting to bring in more fruits and vegetables and slowly taking away the processed foods. And
Yeah.
then you'll start to see your digestion gets better, your skin clears up, your sleep improves, your energy is better,
Mhm.
your attitude. Like
Correct.
the chemicals they put in the foods that
Yeah.
we buy at the store just affect our brains and we don't even think about it.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
those would be like basic things I would say to
Yeah,
incorporate.
that's a huge one. Thank you so much because you
Yeah,
took it all the
absolutely.
way in detail. So now my last question will be a fun facts about you. So just pick one what I say, what first come on your mind.
Okay.
Want to know more about it. Okay, so tea or coffee,
Tea,
bread or pasta,
bread,
water or soda,
water.
beer or wine.
Uh, Technically neither, but if I have to choose one, wine.
Yeah, guess what? Like, um, vegetable or fries.
Usually vegetables. Like especially I'm huge on like carrots, zucchini, squash, pumpkin. Those are like my favorites.
Yeah, seafood or meat.
Seafood,
Um, chocolate, vanilla.
chocolate, all day chocolate.
Really, I just said chocolate. Home cook or takeout.
Home cooked, unless it's Mexican.
Really? Are you a morning person or a night person?
Totally a night owl.
Really? Walking or running.
Walking,
Gym or nature.
nature,
Sweet or sour.
sweet,
Nuts or chips.
Oh, that's a hard one.
Nuts.
Ooh, I love both of those. Like,
You can have both.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It's like chips are my probably like my guilty pleasure.
same here. But I
Yeah, like I mean, I love nuts. I make homemade trail mix with raw nuts and dried fruit and stuff. But if I had like a bag of chips and I really was like, oh, I really want something salty,
yeah,
I'd go for the chips.
yeah, same here.
Yeah, that's my guilty pleasure.
Yeah, once upon I love that when I do like traveling. The chips. Anyway, I don't know, answer that. Cat or dog?
I have both.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Facebook or Instagram?
I'm starting to like Instagram, but I'm still more on the Facebook side just because it's easier for me to navigate.
Hmm. Writing or reading?
Reading.
Phone or computer?
Computer.
Awesome. Friendly or lonely? Or
Friendly.
mhm. Yoga or dancing?
Dancing.
Plain or assorted?
Assorted.
Um, what do you call that? Grocery or online shopping?
Grocery store.
Okay. Call or text? Uh,
Oh, that always depends. I love talking on the phone though, so I would say I'd take a call before a text.
um, employed or entrepreneur?
Entrepreneur.
Yeah. Seeing confidence or happiness?
Oh, wow. I'd probably have to go with the happiness. That's a difficult one to choose, but I would probably want to go with the happiness.
Okay. How about freedom or extraordinary?
Freedom. I don't think there should be anything that takes away
Hmm.
freedom.
Active or passive?
Active.
Belief or courage?
Hmm. Courage.
Spring or summer?
Spring.
Beauty or brain?
Brains.
Rose or orchids?
Oh my God, those are my two favorites. I would probably go more with the orchid though because it's not as common.
Mhm. Ocean or wilderness?
I love both. Um, Probably the ocean just because I like to get tan.
Oh, really?
Oh, that would be something I didn't add for
Mhm.
health. Getting outside for 30 minutes a day, doesn't matter what time of year it is, getting that sunshine, and preferably no sleeves.
Yes,
Don't wash your arms before you go outside. Like that bacteria that's on our skin is so important for helping to
yes,
absorb and convert our vitamin D. So
yes.
I'm sorry I forgot about that.
That's cool. Yeah. So, adventure or homestay?
Hmm. Well, I love adventure and I love being at home. But right now, with the how long I've been home,
Mhm.
I would like a bit of adventure.
Yeah, that's right. That's all the conclusion of my question, and thank you so much for participating this Q&A live.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for having me, Caroline. This was
Yeah,
fun.
yeah, it's fun. Thank you so much, Don, and thank you all for tuning in this time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, bye bye.
Bye.